Hi peeps, it's Terse back on the old squat box once again. Taking another run at Israel Gaza. I've just seen a comment made by Bill Maher that, you know, he said like nobody's making any comparison about who is actually to blame for, you know, the destruction in Gaza. And he kind of says, well, we know that Israel's killing some children and he's really sorry about these dead children, but if that dead children's older brothers and father are the people who are firing the rockets, then it kind of is, you know, their father and brother's fault that the children get killed, you know. And I'm thinking, that's very biblical, isn't it? The children are responsible for the sins of the father. Oh, very biblical, Bill. Bill Maher. Well done, Bill. You know what I mean? As an atheist, you certainly have some strong Christian beliefs there, man. And if that is true, I'm wondering when, you know, America's going to start bombing the shit out of all those illegal aliens living in America, you know. And of course, if any of the dream children get killed while they're doing that, well, that's just justification because, you know, though those kids were brought here by their parents and couldn't say yes or no to it, they're responsible for the sins of their father. The laws that they broke by illegally entering America, the children are also responsible for it. So if they get killed while you bomb the aliens out of America, well, that's just the price they have to pay for having fathers and mothers that brought them into America illegally, isn't it? Kind of biblical that, isn't it? No, yeah. I just don't think that makes any fucking sense. You got to remember as well, back in the Second World War, the Germans, when they would have like an officer or some soldiers killed, they would just wipe a town out. They would just go into that town and kill everybody and burn it to the ground, leaving nothing but, you know, ash, you know. That was the Germans' way of retaliating for loss of life of their own people. And it's really disconcerting to find out that the Jews, who suffered mostly, I think, under the Germans, have now taken up the Germans' way of retribution for the death of one of their people. Because as I remember, this latest cousin started with rockets flying in and then one death. It didn't start with the 3 kids being captured. It started with that one death, and it was after that that they got the tanks rolling. And I just don't believe that acting like fascists is the way for Israeli government to make themselves look like the protectors of the people in the eyes of the rest of the world. And a lot of people might say you can't turn around and call the Jews fascist, James, but yes, I can. Not the Jewish people per se, but the Israeli government are acting like fascists. They don't see any sort of way that they could make decisions about not shooting near hospitals. No, it's like, well, we lost somebody, so we're going to get our aim back. It's basically Genghis Khanian, you know what I mean? Genghis Khan used to do that, surrender or everybody dies, you know. And basically that's what the Israeli government's doing in the Israeli armed forces. They're treating Gaza as if it's an area that doesn't deserve any law, any humanitarian respect. It's just a target to be bombed until what they decide they're finished bombing, or what the people of Gaza take their own lives or walk into the sea and drown. I don't know what they want to do with them, but it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. So I'm glad my government had a discussion in Parliament. It says that they think that, not all of them, but a lot of politicians in Britain said they think that there's humanitarian laws being broken here and that the Israeli government have overstepped themselves. I see them as no better than terrorists themselves, the Israeli government at the moment. Terrorism for terror's sake, that they're trying to scare the Palestinian people into submission, and we all know that that doesn't work. It's never worked in any time in history for any armed force. It simply breeds embitterment, and maybe in a way that's what the Israeli government want, because they stay in power when they show how strong they are against the Israeli enemies. And with peace almost breaking out, the Hamas almost becoming, you know, a mark in history, Palestinian people turning back to the West Bank Palestinian Authority, I think the Israeli government thought they needed to stir this nest up in order to have the right to use might and show themselves as the strong government that Israel needs. I think if peace ever did break out in the West Bank and Gaza between them and Israel, I think the right-wing government would find itself in a difficult position to win re-election. Without the ability to go and show how strong they are, with bombing people and killing the enemies of Israel, they really don't have a platform to stand on in Israel. Yeah, so that's what I think. Right-wingers becoming fascist because they want to hold on to power. Who knows? Maybe they killed the 3 Jewish teenagers themselves. I mean, apparently they killed 3 teenagers, or 3 teenagers got killed, and then even though the Israeli government knew that those kids were dead, they pretended that they were kidnapped, and they rounded up 400 Palestinians and threw them in jail. And they used as their excuse for rounding those 400 people up, throwing them in jail, the fact that they thought that these kids had been kidnapped and were being held somewhere, when all the time they knew the kids were dead. Like they did the same thing with the soldier who they said had been kidnapped by the Palestinians in West Bank and in Gaza. Went in there with tanks, rolled over, Halfa or something like that, rolled over that, killed 200 people in 26 hours. And all the time they knew that that soldier was dead. It seems like there's a pattern forming here, isn't there? And all these bombs accidentally going astray and landing on UN schools full of civilians. 40 of these places have been hit. We've only really heard about 10 of them up until today, but when you actually hear proper reporting by the UN, 40 UN safe houses have been hit. 40. That seems like a pattern to me as well. So it's one you've heard of that. I don't know what you think, but that's my thoughts on that. I think Israel is a terror state now, controlled by a fascist government. I don't think even their own people, although they support their government's actions, I don't think the people in Israel are actually being given the real facts. They're being scared into supporting a right-wing government which desperately wants to hold on to power. A bit like what the Conservatives did under Bush when they went into Iraq. After 9/11, they did nothing but scare the American public with lies so that they would back anything that right-wing government did. Fascism. Under any other name, it's fascism. Kind of how the Germans ran Germany in the 30s and 40s. They terrified their own fucking populace, and that's what right-wing governments do. They scare you to death so you'll vote for them because they're the strong people that will protect you. And it's actually them that's, that's continuing the terror with the actions that they perform for you in your name. 10 people started to think about that, I think.